Azar Chapter 4. This chapter covers the simple future, future progressive, future perfect, and future perfect progressive. Let's start with the simple future. You can express future using will or going to. The form to use will is the subject plus will plus bare infinitive, that would be the action you have. And to use going to, you have a subject, the verb to be, which would be am, is, or are, plus going, plus infinitive. They're both used to express future time, and they're used to make predictions about the future. Before we go over the examples, let's understand that most students will try to ask you what is the difference between going to and will, and there are slight differences. We use going to when the speaker is expressing a prior plan, something the speaker intends to do in the future because in the past he or she has made a plan or decision. This is a good example. Julie says, "There is no milk." And John replies, "I know. I'm going to go get some when this TV program finishes." So here, John already knew there was no milk and he had planned before of the moment they are speaking to go and get some milk. Also, we use going to when you predict something based on something you can see or hear now. The conservatives are going to win the election. They already have most of the votes. So it's based on something you know is going to happen. So it's more like for sure. Let's see the uses of will. A decision at the moment of speaking. There's no milk. Really? In that case, I'll go and get some. You also use will when you make a prediction based on opinion. I think the conservatives will win the next election. A future fact, the sun will rise tomorrow. When you make promises, when you request something, when you refuse or you offer. I'll help you tomorrow if you like. And to express willingness. The phone is ringing. I'll get it. The next topic is future progressive. The form is a subject, will, the verb to be, bare infinitive, plus ing. It expresses an activity that will be in progress at the time in the future. We use to refer to continuing actions that will occur in the future. I will be studying when you come home. Next year at this time, I will be traveling. So here you see it's future, but I want to show continuity here. This evening, I will be working at the library. Future perfect. The form is a subject, will, have, plus past participle. When do you use it? To emphasize you will finish an activity before another time in the future. It expresses an activity that will be completed before another time or event in the future. Let's see some examples. By the time I see you again, I will have graduated. So here you have two actions in the future, but one will occur before the other. First, I will graduate, then I will see you again. So when I join these two sentences, I say, by the time I see you again, I will have graduated. I will have finished my homework by the time I go out on a date tonight. So you need to think which action will happen first. Well, first, I will have finished my homework, then I will go out on a date tonight. Future perfect progressive form. A subject, will, have, been, bare verb with ing attached to it. When do you use it? To emphasize the length of an activity that will be in progress before another time in the future. It emphasizes the duration of an activity that will be in progress before another time in the future. So we go back to what is the difference between future perfect and future perfect progressive. We go back to the very same reasons we mentioned before. Here I'm using the future perfect progressive just to emphasize the duration. So let's see some examples. Here you have a scenario. I will go to bed at 10 p.m. Ed will get home at midnight. So he will get home 2 hours later. At midnight, I'll be sleeping. I will have been sleeping for 2 hours by the time Ed gets home. So again, you have two actions in the future. One will happen before the other, but here I want to emphasize the length of the duration. Another example, by the time you arrive in Phoenix, we will have been driving for 20 straight hours. And that concludes Chapter 4. If you have questions, you can ask me in class.